Hello YouTubers, this is The Giant Awakens, and today I want to talk about why too big to fail will be the ultimate failure. It seems like we never learn our lessons throughout history. We are forced to repeat them because we never learn from history. If you go back to 2008, look at all the banks that failed, and we propped up GM, bailed them out, and we just never learned. If you go back to the 80s when the S&L crisis happened, we allowed hundreds of banks to fail. And the reason we did too is that the banks today, unlike today, didn't have a handful of banks control most of the banking sector. Now we have 5 banks control about 80% of the banking in this country. And when you have that amount of money in just a few hands, what do you think is going to happen? If one of those big ones fail, it can cause the whole system to crash. So what I think we need to go back to Glass-Steagall. We need to separate investment banking from everyday small business and community banking, and we have to downsize these big banks. We can't allow them to get so big and take on so much risk. And that is what I think is going to be our downfall, though. When the whole thing collapses, it's because we don't learn that bad banks, bad businesses have to be allowed to fail. What happened to allow the good businesses and companies succeed and let the bad ones go? That was part of capitalism. We aren't in a capitalist society today. No one is willing to take responsibility for anything. Look at 2008, and since then, no one has gone to jail for the subprime mess. No one has, gone to jail for all the mortgage fraud and the signing. No one goes to jail. And in fact, if they do, they get a little slap on the wrist, pay a fine, and then they're back at it again. And until we start putting these people in jail, until we start reducing the size of these banks, reducing the size of the leverage in the system, we're going to repeat the same problems we had in 2008, except this time around it's going to be 10 times as worse. And unfortunately, I think we're going to have to go through a depression before we learn to not take so much risk. I mean, we don't need these bankers to survive. I mean, my dad, when they bought their first home in the 70s, my dad got the note from the owner. He owned the home. We paid him our mortgage. We didn't go through a bank. We can do that today. We don't need all these banks. What are they paying you when you put your money in the bank anyway? You get less than 1% interest a year. Inflation eats it all up. You're paying. Bank of America is going to charge now $5 fee to use their ATMs. I mean, what do we get out of it? Nothing, except more debt, more risk, and who ends up paying for it all? We do. The taxpayer gets stuck with this mess. And so we need to end this. We need to end it now. I think enough is enough. I mean, I'm so frustrated. Every time I turn on the TV, we're bailing out someone else. We're hearing that Fannie and Freddie, got almost a third of the mortgages now in this country are backed by them. What do you think is going to happen when all those fail? Who's going to pay that? It's this craziness. So that's my opinion on the subject. I hope you get this viral. Please post some comments at the end of this video, and sign up for my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And everyone have a great day. Thank you.